Now for our feature story of the day. U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve could push the Bitcoin price to $500,000 per coin. Easy peasy. According to the Bitwise CIO, this man right here, Matthew Hougan. I hope it's pronounced Hougan because I've been saying it wrong for 6 years if it's not. So, but anyways, in an interview with Yahoo, Hougan, the Bitwise CIO, shared his bullish outlook on Bitcoin, projecting significant price appreciation by the end of 2025. Quoting him here, we expect Bitcoin to be up and above 200,000 by this time next year, attributing the forecast to three primary sources of demand: the Bitcoin ETFs, the corporate investments, and the governmental acquisitions. He elaborated. There are ETFs that are vacuuming up the Bitcoin. Public companies like MicroStrategy are accumulating Bitcoin, and now we're seeing discussions about governments investing in the Bitty. It ultimately boils down to supply and demand. There's too much demand, not enough supply, which drives the price higher. And when probed about the sustainability of such demand, Hougan emphasized the gradual awakening of different investor segments to Bitcoin's value proposition. Quoting him here, people just wake up to Bitcoin at different paces. We have seen retail investors engage first, followed by companies and financial advisors, and now institutions are recognizing that Bitcoin belongs in a diversified portfolio. Bitcoin is now a global macro asset worth a few trillion. That's right. And virtually every investor should have some exposure. We still have a large number of investors to go, which is why I believe we're still early in this journey. We have many quarters to go. A pivotal aspect of Hougan's forecast hinges on the potential of establishment of the U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. Addressing this, he remarked, if we do get a Strategic Bitcoin Reserve when the government is buying Bitcoin as proposed in Senator Lummis' bill for the government to purchase 1 million Bitcoin, $200,000 Bitcoin is going to look quaint. You're going to be looking at $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 Bitcoin. It's just too big a story because governments all around the world would have to do it. That's right. This is the game theory. This is the global hash wars. Hougan admitted that he first was skeptical about Trump suggesting to establish strategic Bitcoin reserve, but over the months, it hasn't gone away. In fact, we continue to see leaders in the Trump administration, including his own sons, suggest they are open to it and doing it. He remarked, the Bitcoin CIO still thinks that the odds of the U.S. government buying Bitcoin is less than 50%, but it's not zero, he added. If it happens, or if we start to see it happening in other countries, you're going to see a rip up in Bitcoin that will make 2024 look pretty docile in comparison. That's what's up. He also highlighted the role of the institutional platform, specifically citing Coinbase as a potential major beneficiary in the evolving crypto landscape. Coinbase is currently about half the size of Charles Schwab, and we believe it could surpass Schwab in brokerage size. Coinbase hasn't had major competitors bubbling up to challenge it. It sort of had a degree of regulatory capture, if you can believe it. And as a result, it has been able to sustain high margins and brokerages. Yeah, you got to also consider, fam, that they're the largest custodian in the world. So Coinbase controls more Bitcoin than anyone else because they hold BlackRock's 500,000 Bitcoin. Most all the asset managers except Fidelity is even self-custodying their Bitcoin. It's mostly Coinbase. So you already know. And they have Coinbase Prime account where they encourage companies, trusts to put their Bitcoin on the balance sheet and they can custody it with Coinbase. So not your keys, not your coins. Theoretically, not only do the investors of IBIT, BlackRock's largest ETF, not hold any Bitcoin, BlackRock doesn't even hold any Bitcoin. Not your keys, not your coins. You want to look at it that way, right? Coinbase holds the Bitcoin. And that's how it works. And there is a difference. I just want to clarify. There's a difference between self-custodying your own Bitcoin and having Bitcoin exposure through an ETF. All Bitcoin, ETF, BTC can be confiscated by the U.S. government. That's just a fact, Jack. All it would have to be is like the Biden administration writing an executive order that Bitcoin is a direct threat to our national security, and therefore we're confiscating all the Bitcoin. They did it with gold in 1933 via the Gold Seizure Act. So trust nobody. Verify everything, learn how to properly self-custody to secure your Bitcoin, because only properly self-custodied Bitcoin in your own private wallet cannot be confiscated. Keep that in mind and don't put nothing past the lizard folk.